I'm not okay. Not okay. What I had to do was so heavy. And I just feel like if I let myself feel these feelings, because this is just like the tip of the iceberg. Like it's just the tip of a very big iceberg. And if I let myself drag at the bottom of it, it will rip me open. And that is just the best analogy for it, because you never know how big an iceberg is underneath the ice. And that's what it is it's so big. And even people that know me, because of the way I hold myself and carry myself, they have no idea how big of that turmoil is underneath everything that I show. Okay, so I guess this would be one of those moments where I was like, I never document. Who wants to document these moments? The other day, I had to make the decision to remove my teenager who I have been separated from. So I think I've gotten to this place where, like, I'm just always disassociated. Like, I don't think I can let myself feel everything, because it would make me just crumble. Like, I think right now I'm recognizing my own ability to hide even from myself when I'm not okay. Like, it's 5:30 in the morning and I had to take a Benadryl and drink sleepy time tea so that I can get my body to go to sleep. And I'm realizing that this is like a trauma response to fighting so hard to get back in contact with my kiddo, only to realize there's a whole lot of heartbreak with that. Because out of every person in the world, he always knew my heart. And so I think my brain is like completely checked out. I'm not this is not good. It's like when you're healing and you think that you've gotten like so far, and you're like, oh my God, I'm so much more healed than I was. List off all these times or dates you think, like, even a year ago, because like how much compounds in 1 year, especially if you're healing, and to just be hit with that unwavering truth that you're really not as put together as you thought you were. Like, I didn't eat until like 20 minutes ago, all day. And I think I'm to a point where I've dealt with these really big feelings on my own with no outlet, or like, so I don't really need validation. But I keep seeing people talk about the psychosis with using ChatGPT and being spiritual, and there's like this aspect of you just being a mirror of you, but then there's no line with using it where it allows for some hard truths too, like, okay, now you're just kind of over in la la land, which happens to all of us if there isn't a ChatGPT involved when it comes to a spiritual awakening. You get into this space of it's just, when it first happens, you're really, really happy and love and light, and you can just float away. But that's because I think your subconscious is like protecting us from that other end, like that other spectrum, right? Because where there's all that love, that light, and you feel like you can float away, there's also that darkness that accompanies it. So I'm recognizing where it was like a pattern where it's like, oh, I'm so healed and I know it's happening. And no part of me was like, you just disconnected from the one person in the entire world you'd literally die for. They needed you in that capacity to keep them alive type of thing. You know, I would question it. And that other part of me is like gently nudging the part that's just disassociated. It's like gently nudging it out. And that's what this truth is. It's like, I'm not okay. Not okay. What I had to do was so heavy. And I just feel like if I let myself feel these feelings, because this is just like the tip of the iceberg. Like it's just the tip of a very big iceberg. And if I let myself drag at the bottom of it, it will rip me open. And that is just the best analogy for it, because you never know how big an iceberg is underneath the ice. And that's what it is it's so big. And even people that know me, because of the way I hold myself and carry myself, they have no idea how big of that turmoil is underneath everything that I show. And it's just like saying I'm not okay is so big. Like I haven't done yoga in so long, and yoga is my peace. It's like I can't get back into my body. I won't let myself. And there's something about meditation too for me, just as yoga, where I have to open myself up in such a way that if something were to happen while I'm open in that way, I'm terrified of what would happen. I'm terrified that I might not recover. See, I'm not okay right now. Like I'm going about my day and doing things, grocery shopping, doing things like I'm fine. But like then I get home and I only we go to Costco once a month. And so if I've forgotten something, then I just kind of have to like forgo it. And I forgot some things that I eat every single day that there's no way I would have forgotten it. I forgot my special breakfast. Uh-oh. Headed back to Costco again. And that's just another sign that I was so disassociated. And now that it's coming back, like I'm coming back into my body and I'm recognizing it, like holy crap. And that was 3 or 4 days ago. So that one was really big. And it felt like a test from God, because I've waited so long to get back with him. To literally have it be, because here's the thing. Leaving him the first time required me choosing myself. The people around me, the people closest to me, all just saw this selfish person like going off and partying and living this grand, lush life. And I was disassociated for years at a time, like years. There were years where I didn't come out of that disassociation, to a point where it's like now I'm recognizing that's become my normal. So even like when he came back and I was in shock, I'm gonna bury him. What happens if you're disassociated for so long that my body is here, but when when you disassociate, is it like soul fragmentation too, where like your soul fragments with that? Because I feel disconnected to the most important parts of myself, and I haven't been able to connect to them for 6 years, I would say, which is really interesting because I've also been celibate for like almost that same amount of time. And I'm not saying like celibacy caused this disconnection. I'm saying like I was always a very in touch with my sexuality and the way I expressed that. I wasn't out there sleeping with a ton of people, but I was very healthy in that. Whereas for I would say about 6 years, I've been so withdrawn. I could see how people would see this as psychosis, like this type of talk as psychosis. Not that I'm in some sort of psychosis. I just have to analyze everything. And it was like this aha moment where I'm so disassociated that like I'm so far removed from who I truly am. Because the normal me, like I was making videos every day for mindset and, you know, attracting that into your life and allowing that in your life and just basic things I've learned and I have experienced a lot, as a lot of us, everyone has this last 4 years, especially, but it's like a switch was flipped. A switch was flipped. And that has caused me to be just this like shell of myself, you know. And so people around me see me like going about my day, but like I'm really struggling. I'm struggling to do normal things every day. Eating, drinking enough water, showering, cleaning, you know, it's just so today is a rough day. Not in that I'm like crying and just can't stop, but it's like when you are so disconnected that like no time is like, what is time? When you're so disassociated that time doesn't exist, you lose so many things. And I'm just realizing like how disassociated I've been for so long. For so long. And because I have literally kept myself in like this bubble and I've just not told anyone, and I've just kept going and going. I don't have anyone to talk to. So now I'm making videos on YouTube. Like when I really break it down, because that's how I was taught. My dad would sit with me and just ask me why. And he would make me answer these questions on my own. And I hated him for it at the time. But it's created this incessant need to psychoanalyze myself. Sometimes the shit that I come up with is just fucking sucks. Because I'm out here thinking like I've just been healed. I'm so healed, and that's so far from the truth. I just found a better way to hide it. I found a better way to mask it. And what it's done is it's caused me to not feel any of the emotions when I should feel the emotions. And so they come like a fucking wave later on. I just think if I can keep doing this work, these hard questions, these fucking ugly answers, because they're ugly. This truth is so ugly. Delusion really gets us through a lot, like, I'm great. I'm so good. No. God, I just miss my baby, And I feel like this realization was kind of a way for me to I feel like we're mirroring each other in what we're experiencing. And I think that it was equally traumatic for both of us in such a way that the way he's disassociated is to just mimic his father and just be whatever his father needs him to be, because that ensures that he doesn't lose dad too. And I think that his subconscious is protecting him the way mine has, the way mine did when I saw him again. I had no emotion. I mean, I was like, oh my God, I'm so happy to see you. But like, the energy behind that happiness was like withdrawn. And I know he felt that because we've always been so connected energetically. I just miss him. I had a mom who didn't want me, she didn't want me. But she took me. She took care of me. And I was punished for that every single day. Not on purpose on her part, I don't think. I think a lot of it was lack of regulation and just overwhelm all the time. And if I'm right, and she's also autistic, which is probably where I get it from, she was burnt out all the time. And I know when I'm burnt out emotionally, like if I'm emotionally at my cap for the day and like I need to just go in my hole and hide under a weighted blanket, my dog barking can send me into a fit where I'm screaming, and that's not who I am. Luckily my dog is completely just doesn't listen. That's an instant reaction because of the lack of regulation, or I'm so overwhelmed. And so always being overwhelmed means there's like this constant dysregulation happening. And so I do really well when I go to the gym, but I had to take these extensions out. They're out now. I just washed the hair, but it's kind of still got the glue in it, no matter how much of the oil I put in, you have to do a few washes. So when I'm doing like this in-between hair thing where I'm in between having the glue out and then, the hair is ready to be bleached, and then I'm in between bleaches and my tapes, and it's just like, I don't leave the house. I could just stay home. And I just kind of like go balls to the wall with it. I'll get it done in a couple days and then I'm out in the world again. But I have I'm walking for Portland Fashion Week this year, and we have a boot camp like in 2 weeks. And I would normally be up prepared. Like my other room, which was like my dad's room when he was alive, is kind of just turned into my closet. So I had to like turn that room into like a makeshift closet. But because I've been so overwhelmed with everything, it looks like a bomb went off with my clothes there everywhere. It's just insane. And that room, every time I go in it now, is just all of it's overwhelming for me. So like these are like signs, like blaring red signs that are letting me know like you are so not regulated, and if you don't get this under control soon, it's gonna fuck up your modeling schedule. And I haven't tried to model. I stopped modeling. I walked away from doing shoots like almost 7 years ago. Like I started doing shoots here and there, I think in 2023, and I got like, it was like 4 or 5 magazines in 2023, or was it 2022? I don't remember. It's another thing with this shit. Time is like, I have no concept of time. I don't remember when things were. And it's frustrating that like I haven't been able to just sit down and share this shit with him. Because if I could just tell my kiddo like what's going on, if he would just listen to me with an open heart, he'd hear me. He'd hear my heart. Like I'm not lying about this shit. And do you know how frustrating it is to have been dealt the cards that I've been dealt in such a way, and then just once I finally reconnect, it's like, okay, prove yourself. I don't have time for that right now. I don't have time to get into that emotional fucking mess because it's already fucking me up. And that sounds so cold-hearted, dude, but you don't understand how hard I've worked to get myself out of depression. It was 4 years where I couldn't leave the house. I was fucked up. So now, like, this modeling is falling back in my lap, and it's like, I can't let this fall to the wayside. I can't lose these opportunities because these people are literally feeding life back into a part of me I just figured was dead forever. Like I literally had it set in my mind that I would be on my own, alone, with no friends for the rest of my life because I never leave the house and I was too unhealed to leave the house. But slowly, very slowly, I started doing things. And the first thing I did was I got into my yoga classes, like to get my certification. And I did that because if anything ever happens and we go into lockdown, I didn't want to not have a way to earn an income. And I also wanted to help people. And yoga literally saved my life. And that's another sign of me being so disconnected in like a way that is probably going to shatter me when I get reconnected to myself. Simply because my emotions and my body are like, they're coming to a point where they're overflowing. And I know that because of how I'll yell at my dog when she's just barking for no fucking reason. She's just loud. She likes to talk. But it's like so high pitched in my ear. It hurts my ear. Like it physically hurts my ear. And so if you pair that with overstimulation and then the bark, which is loud, and then the bark actually physically hurting pain or causing pain, I react. And so I'm like, okay, what do I need to do to get back to a space where I can at least feel safe enough to do yoga again? Because again, I've got this boot camp with the modeling, and I don't have to be at like a perfect small size. They already have my measurements. Like, that's not a big deal. In actuality, I should probably be trying to keep my weight so that the designers don't have to redo anything. But this isn't my normal weight, and I'm slowly pushing myself back to that healthy version. And that healthy version, she's a freaking savage, and she's also like a good, I would say, 15 pounds lighter. And so I'm probably not going to lose all that within the next few boot camps, but by the show, if I'm not careful, I'll slim down a lot. And they already don't want models that are like under a 4, and I know that they have a few. They try to keep the sizes a little bit more like, normal, from what I understand. At least that was my understanding. I may have misunderstood that aspect. But a lot of people, like, back in the 2000s, it was normal for like models to be like a size 0, size 2. Now it's kind of been deemed as like unhealthy to keep that expectation up if that's not your natural frame. And notice I'm trying to word this really carefully because it's a really touchy subject for just a lot of people in general. So yeah, I'm recognizing, completely off topic, I digress. I'm recognizing where I've been disassociated, and because of my autism, and then all of my modeling schools, this actually has something to do with it. It's not just like a flex. Like, I'm not flexing it. I was put into modeling schools, like Barbizon. I can't remember the other one. I started with the J. Through my high school career, and we didn't know that I was autistic. But I'm just thinking if that thing would be, I won't tell people I'm rich, but there will be signs. And so when I said we didn't know I was autistic, I immediately in my head was like, but there were signs. Anyway, at the time we didn't know I was autistic, So my mom was just like, I think that she was really genuinely just trying to be cool. I think she was a little more comfortable. Like, she had her own home again, and, she was like running her own business again. So she was like when she was the most like dysregulated was when she was really struggling. Like, money wasn't coming in, and she was worried how she was going to keep the lights on. But yeah, she put me into modeling schools when she had the ability to, That helped me mask as an autist for years. Like, I didn't learn that I was autistic until like a year and a half ago. I'm 37, so those schools really helps me to fit in, because my hyper focus was, okay, I need to do all of these things and be the best so that I can get hired. So it was a necessity for me. It was quite literally a survival tactic. But yeah, that paired with just the last 14 years of how I've allowed myself to like consistently keep going, it's got me disassociated, and I'm really gonna have to work to pull myself out of that. And then the inevitable fallout when I pull myself out of that and I'm feeling all of the feels again. Like, I'm just so not fucking looking forward to this at all. It sucks. It really sucks. And see, this is on the assumption that like my kiddo doesn't show up tomorrow and decide that like he's gonna hear me out and hear my story. And so I think that's one of the reasons why I'm so adamant about just, okay, I'm gonna record a half an hour. I'm just gonna record for half an hour and talk, because I need to be comfortable speaking my truth. And I'm just it's so not what I'm conditioned to do. I mean, I speak the truth in general, and I make sure to always stand up for the underdog. But when it comes to speaking my own truth, another thing I was trained when I went with another company, and I was with that company traveling the world, was we don't tell people about our family. You have kids, you don't tell people you have kids. There are psychos out there, they will use that against you. And so that's why you hear me say they and my kiddo, because I'm really, really struggling to share that part of myself with the world. It's just really, it's cruel for a parent to keep another parent away from their child while simultaneously like fueling this narrative that they want nothing to do with them, when in reality every single choice from day one I've made, these choices I've made were to ensure protection in every way possible. I didn't give a fuck who saw my child. I don't want people to see my child. No, absolutely not. I know what happens when I share a goal with somebody that doesn't like me. Suddenly that shit's unraveling because energy is real. Babies are precious. You want to protect them. And so this narrative of me just not caring and being like a Disneyland mom or whatever the fuck it was painted as, because I don't know what the running narrative is now, it's just really cruel. It's so fucking cruel. It's a level of cruelty that I don't think most authors that write cruel characters can match. So yeah, like, if I let myself think about this shit, I get fucking so mad. And so I'm not gonna get mad anymore, you know? Like, I'm not gonna do it. And that's where the disassociation comes in. So I really don't want my videos to be super long, so I'm gonna stop. But I guess what I'd leave you with is, if you've gone through some really like horrendous shit and you have just been going and working, you haven't talked with anybody about it, you haven't discussed it, you haven't journaled it, you're fucking disassociated. And the longer you're disassociated and the longer you keep yourself from recognizing this, the longer that disconnect is going to keep you from doing the things that you want to do, the things that you're meant to do, you know? And so like this disassociation and then the recognition of it, it sucks. It's definitely a truth I'm not loving. But it's something that I can work with. And so while I'm just like definitely using this as my internet diary, you know, I'm also thinking like maybe someone who isn't as bad off as I am will see something I'm sharing and it will click for them. I don't want to be anybody's savior at all. I don't really give a fuck if you even tell me about it. And I'm sorry if that sounds rude, but like, I got my own shit to worry about, you know? Like, the internet scares me because you can go viral overnight, and I don't want that. I don't want to be famous. I'd love to be rich. Disgustingly rich. I'd love that. Fame? I don't fucking want that ever. That's never been something I want. It's terrifying. Tons of people with no accountability for them or the way they're acting, just coming at you constantly. Yeah, that's been the worst part of modeling, of any of the work I've ever done, is the requirement to be in the public like that. I fucking hate it. I don't want to. No. But I'm also recognizing where my choice to just remove myself has like basically allowed people that want to rewrite history and pretend history doesn't exist to just try to erase me altogether. So, okay, I'm done. Tell your truth. Find your truth first. you gotta figure out what you're hiding from yourself before you can tell your fucking truth, let me tell you what.